Welcome to Build the Weight Loss Practice of Your Dreams. I'm your host, Karol Clark with Weight Loss Practice Builder, and we are continuing our topic about how to make the most of December and plan for a great 2022 in your weight loss practice. Last week, we talked about the excuses that can sometimes hold us back from making December a fantastic month. And this week, we are going to be talking about how to optimize your personal productivity. Then we're going to be talking about identifying your top joys and frustrations, and then develop that plan for 2022. So I'm so excited to be bringing this to you, and let's get right into how to optimize your personal productivity. Because even though sometimes people can think of this as somewhat of a fluffy topic, it is not, and it will make the difference for you and your ability to accomplish your goals and do it in a very sane manner, or not accomplish your goals, because you and your team all need to be at your peak performance. If you think about it, no matter what profession, if you think about athletes, anyone, whatever you do, you want to be at your peak performance. And when you and your team are, you can just about do anything. So we want to make sure that is happening as often as possible. So there are a few considerations and things that I want you to think about. And because we need to really evaluate this for us and for all of our team to see, to be able to identify any problems and then put a plan in place on how to fix that. So when you think about it, I want you to consider, are you potentially a bottleneck in your practice? And this can really be frustrating, not only for you, but for your team. And so a few common reasons why you may be the bottleneck, hopefully not, but I know I've been in these shoes and I struggle with this myself. The reason why you may be the bottleneck in your practice can be perhaps if you have a tendency towards procrastination or overwhelm. That can be something that's really an issue and helps prevent you from being able to effectively manage your team and also move forward. You can procrastinate and be for a number of different reasons. One is perhaps there is just overwhelm. There is so much to be done, and every day when you go to work, you have the same outcome. You get in there with all these plans, and then at the end of the day, you wonder, like, what really did we get accomplished today? Are we really moving forward? It can be almost like you are in a tornado or a hurricane every single day, and that really negatively impacts it. But if you are the bottleneck, because of that, we've got to get some ways for you to move some stuff off your plate, for you to prioritize, for you to eliminate some of the things that are in your head or things you think need to get done that really don't. This happens a lot in some practices where they're spending a boatload of money on paid advertising, and if it's working, great, but a lot of them, they really don't know if there's a return on investment. So it happens in lots of different areas. It could be financial. It could just be in terms of getting that new system in place for your patient care, a new system in place for your EMR and patient, how they're registering, how you're tracking all of your patients from the initial lead as they're interested in what you have to offer all the way through to where they purchase a surgery or they purchase a service from you. So there can be lots of different things that end up being an issue. So are you the bottleneck? Like I say, it could be just from overwhelm. It could also just be from, potentially for some, a fear of failure, because you're peak performers and you're used to succeeding at everything. And if there's a fear of failure, it can keep you from moving forward, and you might just continue to, go into analysis paralysis. So it can be something that really is an issue. You could also fear success. So if you fear success, you know that with success comes new challenges. For a lot of us, we love that. But there's some that success could be a little bit scary, because perhaps maybe you're not sure you and the team can handle it, or how is it going to impact your time and your time for yourself and for your family. There's lots of different things that can play into that. So recognizing this is so important. And fixing these things, fear of failure, fear of success, a tendency towards perfectionism might be another thing that causes you procrastination. I suffer from that as well. And then also just some time management skills could be an issue. But if you don't address these now, if you continue to grow, no matter what, it's either gonna cause you to stagnate your growth, or if you're continuing to grow, these problems, if not addressed, will just have almost like they'll actually get much bigger. So it ends up affecting you in a huge way. So we want to make sure that you consider, are you a bottleneck in your practice? And really honestly think about that. And then we have to identify that and then what the reason is, and then move forward on how to fix that. The other thing is that you need to consider is that old habits die hard. So if you suffer from any of the things I just talked about, it's not easy. It's not something you can change overnight. Just like your patients can't change their eating habits or their lack of fitness or their fitness habits. They can't change that overnight. It's going to be the same way for you. But there are ways to overcome that. Whether you're somebody who likes to have pick one thing, start with that, get some momentum, just like you teach your patients. So let's say you are somebody who has an issue with your time management. Then actually stopping to look at what your schedule is, making sure it works for you in your personal life, adjusting it so that you're not doing it because this is how this guru told you to do, or this is how your neighbor does it, or your colleague. Figuring out what is going to work for you. I do this with my team members too. So I have some team members, they're peak performers in the morning. So we adjust their schedule to that. I have another employee in my office who is a great team member, and she functions better a little bit later. So we actually make some adjustments. I like to work out in the morning. My husband likes to work out after in the evening. So there's lots of different things. There's not a right or wrong way, but it does have to fit in with your personal lifestyle. So you take something and then once you impact that, and you actually see results, it creates more momentum to then take over the next habit. But you do have to identify these habits. And sometimes we think it's a weakness to admit it, but it's actually a strength so that you can make sure that you do improve that. So old habits do die hard, and really understanding that what got you here won't get you to the next step. There's entire books written about this, but really, upping your game, hiring a coach if you need to, having a consultant, somebody who can help really identify a strategy for where you are now and where you want to be, and then help you implement it. I don't know how many people I've talked to where somebody did a strategy, but they never really helped them with implementation. So that Groundhog Day of just being so busy and lack of implementation continued unless there is a plan in place, definite dates, whose responsibility, accountability, tweaking it as you go along. It's going to be harder to accomplish really big projects. And so every year you start out with the same goals, but they're just never accomplished. So this really optimizing your personal productivity is important for you and your entire team. It revolves around, just like you tell your patients, it revolves around what you're putting in your body in terms of your nutrition. Are you moving your body? We always feel worse when we're not, even though we know we should be. What books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? Are you binging just a Netflix series? Are you really working to improve whatever it is in your life that you want to improve so that you can take time with your family, see results, and be really satisfied in your practice? What are your habits? Are you addressing what those habits are? Are you making changes? If you really feel like you have none, I bet if you asked your team members or your significant other, they might be able to help you work through some of what you might be struggling with. Or you can always reach out to me. The other thing is, who are the people that you're surrounding yourself with? Do you have a supportive team? Are they working at their peak performance? What can we do to help improve their performance so that you can delegate more freely, more openly? Really taking a look at that. So I hope this has been helpful, but we really do need to address this before you start going in and planning any new goal or something like that, because you can do all the planning in the world, but if performance isn't optimized, and if that's not something that's happening regularly where people are feeling good about themselves and they feel like they have the energy to address whatever's coming up, it will really hold you back. So anyhow, I hope you found this helpful. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you haven't reached out for any of my freebies, I have like lots of different business tips and actually entire plans that you can just go in and utilize. It's at weightlosspracticebuilder.com/free. There's one that goes along with these this whole month as well. I've got some really great stuff planned for 2022. I can't wait to bring it to you. And if you are in Bariatric Business Boss, I can't wait till our next one-on-one meeting where we are actually addressing this one-on-one together and helping you advance your practice in a big way. I'm so proud of everybody and what they're accomplishing. And if you're not a member, consider bariatricbusinessboss.com. But in the meantime, have a great December. Don't use those excuses. This is also a great time, like I say, to step back and take a look at the performance for you and your team and really trying to optimize that so you can get better results. Anyhow, I will talk to you next week. In the meantime, take care.